From the first whistle of the season, Xabi Alonso has acted like a coach determined to control every variable he can. Real Madrid's response to the unpredictability of refereeing and the sudden swing of a red card hasn't been moaning in press rooms or filing complaints. It's been a quiet, relentless change in the way they train. Players who once treated a sending off as a crisis are now being asked to treat it as a routine scenario, one they can manage calmly because they have rehearsed it until it becomes muscle memory. The sessions are short, intense and painfully specific. 10 against 11 for 10 to 12 minutes, forced positional discipline, constant prompts to keep shape and possession, and a relentless focus on simple execution rather than panicked clearances. Under Alonso, the emphasis is not on heroics but on structure, how a back line slides across, how midfielders fill the gaps, how attackers rotate to create passing lanes and relieve pressure. The drill teaches them to shrink the space opponents can exploit while still threatening on the break, to treat numerical inferiority not as chaos but as a tactical puzzle to be solved. The logic is elegant. Teams that panic when a man goes are easy to finish off. Teams that practice the situation become harder to break and, in many cases, capable of stealing points because they stay compact and disciplined long enough to find the right moments to attack. There's a psychological layer to it too. When a club sends the message that setbacks are rehearsed, it removes an emotional reaction from players, the usual slump or loss of nerve that follows a sending off. Players know the steps, they know the roles, and that certainty is contagious across the pitch. Alonso has drawn from the playbook of pragmatic managers who prioritised organisation in adverse moments, but he's not making a carbon copy of any past regime. Instead, he's mixing those old ideas with modern emphasis on ball retention and intelligent pressing patterns so that even down a man, Madrid can still control periods of the match. The drills are brutally practical. Defenders practice covering for overlapping fullbacks, midfielders rehearse double markers and quick turnovers, and attackers are drilled not to sprint blindly but to become outlets for circulation and to punish overcommitment with quick counters. Set pieces get special attention because they're often the moment a down man side concedes or scores. Every corner, every free kick is a classroom for defensive discipline and opportunistic offence. Importantly, this is also a message to the league and to rivals. It says Real will adapt rather than complain. It says the club expects to be tested and will be ready. Critics might call it defensive conservatism or a sign of lacking faith in officiating. That criticism misses the point. This is risk management at the highest level. Minimise avoidable collapses, preserve leads and extract maximum points even from imperfect referee calls. For young players, the change is a chance to accelerate their tactical education. They learn to read the game under pressure, to maintain composure when space disappears, and to trust teammates to hold their roles. That trust shows up in late match sequences when a tired team must resist waves and still find a way forward. Watching Madrid now, you see fewer panicked long balls and more composed sequences that probe and punish. You see a goalkeeper who commands his box because the defence in front of him is organised. You see a coach who has converted fear of the unknown into a prepared response. The consequences for the title race are clear. A team that can survive bad calls and red cards without collapsing gains momentum in ways opponents cannot easily measure until the points table shows the difference. In European ties where away goals and single mistakes can tip the balance, that resilience becomes a currency. The soundbite is simple. Real are training not to be victims of circumstance but to be masters of adaptation, but the work behind it is granular and relentless. Whether Alonso's approach will decide the biggest trophies this season remains to be seen, but what's unmistakable is that he's changed the conversation from how will we cope to how will we exploit the moment. Fans should watch how Madrid reacts in their next game if the numbers shift, how substitutions are used to shore shape rather than panic, and how the team's tempo changes when asked to defend with fewer players. The real story here is less about referees and more about a coach turning uncertainty into an asset, training the club, in short, to become unbreakable. What do you think? Is this wise pragmatism or a defensive retreat? Join the conversation. This season could be decided by teams who refuse to be undone by the unexpected.